Israel is intensifying its air raids on Hamas terror group, and there is now a growing possibility of a ground offensive. People of Gaza are running out of time as the 24-hour deadline issued by IDF has just ended. 6 p.m. Indian time is when the 24 hours ended. Around 1.1 million people in the north of the Strip were asked to relocate south within 24 hours on Friday. The order was issued to ensure that innocent Gazans don't suffer any collateral damage. The IDF viewers even admitted that this move actually defies military logic, but they're going ahead with it because Israel does not want any civilian casualties, but only wants to demolish Hamas's terror infra.
We do this, we advertise our intentions in advance, not because it has any military logic, it doesn't, because we want civilians not to be affected by the war. We didn't put those civilians there. They are not our enemy. We are not trying to kill or injure any civilians. We are fighting against Hamas. That needs to be abundantly clear. We are fighting and targeting Hamas and its military infrastructure wherever it is. That's where we targeted, and we have targeted around the Gaza Strip and in the northern part of the Gaza Strip.
Israel never and ever will not shoot civilians in purpose. Therefore, we are asking all the civilians in Gaza City to go south of Gaza. And the reason is that because we don't want to harm them. The camouflage of the terrorists is the civil population. Therefore, we need to separate them. So those who want to save their life, please go south. We are going to destroy Hamas infrastructures, Hamas headquarters, Hamas military establishment, and take this phenomena out of Gaza and out of the earth. They cannot live among human civilized people.
This was the Israeli Defense Minister laying out the intent of the IDF. Now, the Israeli Defense Forces have circulated pamphlets in the northern regions of the Gaza Strip ordering immediate evacuation of the region. Residents were told to evacuate North Gaza and asked to move below the Wadi Gaza River. Here's more on this, just to understand what this area is about and what the instructions are to the Gazans.
Viewers, the Israeli Defense Forces have issued a directive to the people living in Gaza City to evacuate from north to the south. Now, let me tell you how this entire scenario will pan out and how the Israelis have asked the people of Gaza to relocate from north to south. So this is Israel, that is Egypt, and this red zone that we have demarcated is the Gaza Strip. Now, here you'll have to understand three important points: the Erie's crossing, Gaza City, as well as the Rafah crossing. So people here, 1.1 million people living in Gaza City have been asked to relocate from here all the way to the Rafah crossing, and this entire stretches for about 25 miles. So only from the Erie's crossing till Wadi Gaza, it's about 10 miles, and from here till the Rafah crossing, it's about 15 miles. Now, what we have to note here is that 2.2 million people live in the Gaza Strip, and people believe that it is very hard for them to relocate within a stipulated time of 24 hours because a lot of destruction has taken place in Gaza after Hamas terrorists were seen fighting, or rather launching terror attacks from residential localities. So Israel had to bombard a few residential localities where they felt that Hamas terrorists were hiding out. Now, what is difficult is that the Gaza City also houses about 1.1 million people, along with 11 hospitals and 3 UN compounds, and it becomes very hard for all of them to relocate to the Rafah crossing in just 24 hours. And another important point which has to be noted here is that the Rafah crossing continues to remain closed, and whether or not Egypt will open it for Gaza refugees remains to be seen.
Who takes responsibility? Let's open this up. Benjamin, former IDF, also with us, Dr. Eyal Pinko, Senior Intelligence Officer, Cyber National Security Expert. Gentlemen, good evening. Mr. Benjamin, IDF has made it clear to the Gazans that if you want to live, if you want to survive, leave the territory. The deadline, the countdown is over.
It's not clear. It's not clear.
Can you not hear me, sir? Is that what you're saying?
So, yeah, you're not clear. I mean, I can't hear you well.
Okay, we'll try and fix that line, but in the meanwhile, let me bring in Dr. Pinko. Dr. Pinko, what do you make of this 24-hour deadline given by the IDF to the Gazans, and now that it is over, what can we expect?
First, we need to expect that Israel will attack the north part of Gaza, the Gaza Strip. Israel didn't attack this part yet in a high capacity because of the existence of many people over there which are innocent and they are civilians. But taking that into consideration, Hamas has a lot of headquarters, infrastructures and establishment in the north part of the Gaza Strip, preparing for war over there. I must emphasize, you spoke about hospitals. For example, in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, there is a hospital named Shifa. Shifa is the most or the biggest hospital in the Gaza Strip. 5 floors below the hospitals, 5 floors below ground level. This is the largest Hamas headquarters over there. They have over there command and control post, cyber attacks groups. They have over there a lot of ammunition, rockets, long-range missiles. So for those regions, they are beneath the hospitals. They are beneath the school, the kindergarten. This is the main centers of Hamas, and from this region, Israel needs to attack this northern part of the Gaza Strip.
Okay. Mr. Benjamin, can you hear me now, sir? Is the line clear?
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
I want you to break it down for our viewers. When we say that IDF is ready for ground operation, what are we talking about?
First of all, ground operation, we are trying not to make any casualty to our soldiers, and of course not to the civils in Gaza Strip. As Mr. Pinto said, you can take a small example of the hospital. Hospital is full of injuries or full of patients who are really taking care of the medicine and whatever it is. But the Hamas is sitting under the hospital. Hamas is sitting under the hospitals. Hamas is sitting under all the buildings where the civils are staying. So we can't take any chance. That's why we are telling the civil to go. And when we are telling civil to go, they are taking advantage of it that Israel will not bomb them, and they are sending more rockets to Israel. That is something that you can't believe. They are taking the full advantage of their people who are their civils, who are voted for them, people who are really, one of the ladies was shouting that everything there is going with the biggest cars and good villas and everything, and we are suffering. Her 6 children are not working. They are completely depending on our neighbor countries. So I don't think that any chance that we can give them. And I am so sure that when we will get in, we want to just finish their undergrounds.
Okay. That is as far as the intent of the IDF is, but, and I'm reading some reports, Dr. Pinko, you can correct me and perhaps add to this. There are reports suggest that at least 40,000 terrorists from Hamas, says special units are waiting for the Israeli army in Gaza. And many reports also suggest that the Gazans to leave the region are being stopped from doing so.
Yes, as my colleagues said here, we see that for many years. It's for 20 years we see that Hamas is using their civilians, their population as human shields. You can see their protests. They put the kids in front, they put the women in front, and they, like real soldiers, they are in a very cynical way, they are behind them. So they don't want the civilian to go anywhere because they are using the civilians as human shields. This is what we do this is what they do for many years.
Now, Mr. Benjamin, the Israeli forces have given the Palestinian Red Crescent until 1300 hours GMT to evacuate the Al-Quds hospital in the Gaza City. This I am picking up from the Jerusalem Post. If the deadline is not honored, the hospital is not evacuated, what happens then?
I'm so sure that my country, they will take the biggest action before they do anything in Gaza Strip. We are not barbarians. We are not the army that we see. We will never touch our civils, and never mind for which side. We are not barbarians, and we will not do that. I am so sure. But I'm completely supporting my country, supporting my IDF, and they will do whatever good is for our country. I'm so sure.
Pinko, my final question to you is, sir, how do you see Egypt's role? Because, you know, Cairo has not been walking the talk. On one side, you have Cairo expressing concern about the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding in Gaza. But yet there was a civilian corridor that on which Cairo has shut its door.
Yes, you know, Egypt wants to show its sympathy towards the Hamas and towards the civilian over there. But you see that they're, according to their behavior for many years, they don't like Hamas. They understand that Hamas is trouble. They understand that Hamas is it's a terrorist organization. And because of that, they don't want anyone to go inside, because they understand once they go inside, they will bring with them terrorists inside Egypt. And, you know, Egypt doesn't want to go to sleep with a sick head, as we call it in Hebrew. So they are willing to open the passage only for some foreigner and civilians that are living in the Gaza Strip. For now, Egypt do not allow anything to go in and out from there, including supply and medicines as well. So Egypt also closed the borders and not allowing anything to go back and forth, medicines, water, civilians for and nothing.
Now,
I think it's yes, sorry.
No, make your point. Complete your point, sir.
So just as a conclusion, they understand that those guys are savages. They are slaughtering women and kids, and they don't have any mercy for anything. They don't want this trouble to come inside the Egyptian territory. Therefore, they are closing the gates.
That's right. The IDF has made it clear that Hamas is using the civil population as its camouflage, but they've also made it clear that come what may, they will destroy the Hamas infrastructure. Mr. Benjamin, my final question, sir, and I want a short answer on this because we are pressed for time. What will it take for this operation to end?
It's very hard to say. Our mission is to put Hamas out of this place, and it will take time. We know, because we are not, as I said in my beginning, we are not barbarians. We need time.
Right.
And what is the time? Time is to clean everybody from the civil places, and then we will do whatever we are supposed to do with Hamas. Hamas will be not there. That is definitely, and all our public is with our IDF, with our country.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Pinko and Benny Binyamin. Thank you for joining us on Times Now. The idea, viewers, has made it clear to the Gazans that if you want to live, if you want to survive, go south, leave the Gaza Strip, because we will go and wipe out Hamas and everything that Hamas has created in the Gaza Strip. That's all that we could patch in. Taking a quick break. Stay with us.